Oh, don't tell me. I just caught a small bass and it wasn't recording. That'll teach me for not wearing my wristband. In fact, that's what I'm going to do now, is put my wristband on. I can check then I'm recording. So yeah, so I did just catch a very small schoolie bass this big. So, but I'm changing the rig setup. Right. I ended up taking a photo, but probably not off the bass. It is very windy here, so I don't know how well the mic's going to work in the wind. Anyway, so I've changed over to, I was trying to show earlier. Got out. Right, so I was trying to show earlier, these are my original rigs from about 15 years ago. Obviously I put some new traces on here, but this is how I used to run them. With little clips that I could clip on and off quickly, because what would happen is you'd catch these for flounder, you'd catch a flounder and it would swallow the hook. So I would unclip it and that would allow me then to safely disgorge the flounder, but I also have spare ones ready to clip them back on to get back out fishing while I was doing, because sometimes disgorging a flounder can take upwards of 5 or 10 minutes. They can be quite tricky little things. Now, it doesn't harm the flounder to be out of the water for a small length of time. They're quite resilient like that. So I'm actually going to do a bit of old school fishing, basically. So I'm going back to my original setups from when I started fishing 15 years ago. I've been fishing all my life, but 15 years ago I started taking a little bit more seriously and coming out on a more regular basis. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get that baited up. So I'm gutted I missed that bass. That'll teach me. At least now I can see that I am recording. I should really have put this on at the start. It's quite a good little thing. I don't know if you can see that, but it shows you what I'm recording and it's got a little red light. And of course the baiting needle, very simple. Worm on there. This is a worm that's been gutted actually. It's quite nice and dry and quite rubbery. I may leave that shit worm and put this one on. So of all I didn't catch on camera, I haven't blanked today. It's always a good thing. Right, so I'm not sure how much I have recorded or not, because I was going on about the new bag I bought and the new boxes I bought, but none of that may end up in the video. Anyway, let's stop moaning. Let's get this old school rigs out there, and hopefully I can catch another schoolie. And I've had to move back because this is getting quite covered, but it'll be all right for casting off. The only problem is that seaweed is going to be deadly slippy. Good chance to check out how the new wellies are all right. There we are. I found a nice little footing spot here. Oh, and we've got a wrap. That's the only problem. Oh no, it's unwrapped itself. Good. Let's get this out quick. Right. We'll just walk this back now and try not to get a booty, as they say. As the old Totally Awesome Fishing Show, Graham, is it, off that? He always, when he fills his welly up with water, he calls it a booty. Right, and now we can have a bit of pressure on this one. And jam the line rod in there. Great, so that'll help compensate with the wind, is what I put, because the gripper lead will grip, I can put a little bit more tension on the line. And I'll still see the bites because they'll work off that boom system. No sooner than I turn the camera off, the rod is twitching. Let's just stand here and have a little look. Wasn't much of a twitch, it'll be another little schoolie, I'm thinking. Oh, there we go. Let's hold on to the line and let's have a little feel. Now I will have to yank this quite hard because obviously the gripper lead is in there now. No more bites. Just leave it off a little bit. Just leave it go gentle. Maybe it's had the worm away, or maybe I spooked it when I picked the rod up. We'll keep looking at it for a minute. Right, it's been about 5 to 7 minutes after that first set of bites. I'm not getting any more bites, so let's bring this in. Probably been stripped off its bait. Now it's going to get a little bit trickier to get this in now because you can see now I can't get out there, but there's a shelf. So I'll have to make my way on the rocks here. Got to be careful, these stones can be slippy and there's a bit of a gap in the shelf here. So let's give it a pull. Oh, the worms are still on it. Tighten back up this weight. I won't mess about, I'll get it straight back out. Wait for that to come untangled. Getting quite a nice little bite on there now. I think I'll pull the rod up and just have a little feel. It was quite a nice bite, but I don't know what's happened. This slacked off again. I've dislodged the lead. We'll just wait and see on that one. And sod's law, the water's coming up on here now. No, it definitely shouldn't be coming in much further. He says. I didn't think it was going to cover that, but it did. Now the wind is behind the tide today, so sometimes that can raise the tide up sort of a foot or so. So it probably is about a foot higher than normal. Right. And now the tide's turned, I'll also start casting this way rather than with the tide that way. Don't know if this will pick up that boat in the distance, but if he's fishing there, he's fishing illegally. That's still inside the no bass fishing zone, which boats aren't allowed to fish for bass between the mouths, the exit mouths of the two rivers, or the three rivers. There's a river around the corner, this one, so it's the Gwendrife, the Towie and the Tui, which is over there. And there's basically an invisible line, so if he's fishing there, he's illegally fishing. Big fines, they can confiscate your boat. Maybe he's not fishing, maybe he's in trouble, but it looks like he's sort of parked up and not doing much at the minute. I just thought I'd point that out. I've just put a new fresh cast out as well. Right, getting a nice little bite on there. I'll just wait for another bite. But that was quite a chunky little bite on there just now. There it goes. So we'll get ready on that. I don't want to pick it up too quickly. So this is on the out tide again now. No, nothing else. I'll leave it there for a minute. If I see some more bites, then I'll reel it in after that. But I'm not going to snatch it too early. If there was a bass on the end, it would be bouncing. If it was a sizable bass. Oh, it's hard to tell. We'll just leave it there for a minute. So as you can see now, the tide's dropped quite a bit. I'll probably fish another half hour. It was up to these, almost up to this rock, and now it's dropped and that little reef is exposed again. Not much luck really at all. A few little bites. Had that one little bass, one little schoolie, but not really much else happening here. Would be nice if I could end the session on a fish, but that's why they call it fishing and not catching. Right, well, we may as well pack it all up now. Still nothing, no more bites. The tide's nearly there now. I can nearly see the sand, so I can walk back along the sand rather than scramble all over these rocks that you see. Well, that was a bit of a disappointment. Just that one little schoolie this size, which I didn't get on camera. Been a beautiful day though, so it's basically been out here drowning worms. Ah, it's such a shame. And I had a couple of little mishaps with the braid as well on the cast. When I was casting too heavy, the braid was getting caught up. So I've had to tie a new leader knot on there. Currently using the GT leader knot, which is fairly easy to tie, to be honest. It's nice and easy to tie, learn and tie. It's, I'll have to do a little knot video doing the GT knot. It's basically a double overhand loop knot, which when you pull it, it goes into a figure of 8, and then you feed the braid through it, and then you do a cinch knot, which is you bring it up around and round about 7 or 8 times and cinch it in. Apparently it's a very, very good knot. Apparently it's been scientifically tested that it breaks at 100% strain, so probably not my one. The one I tie is probably be lucky if I get half of that, but apparently that's the knot to use. I was using Alberto knots, which are good for braid, but I've switched over to the GT knot for the sea fishing. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this little adventure on Big Ben, and once again Big Ben has proved not very productive for me, but there we go. There's always next time. Anyway, next video will either be kayaking if the weather stays like this, and if it does stay like this, I think I will get out in the kayak, or it'll be back spinning, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more action and at least a fish to show you. Alright, so this is Glyn out. If I do catch anything now, I will turn the camera off, but otherwise I'm just going to say my little piece to camera and we're going to shoot the moon. So thank you for joining me, and you're all very beautiful peoples, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.